Carol Tempel is a lifelong educator and a community leader, and now she wants to take her experience to Columbia to represent South Carolina's House District 115. I speak exclusively with Carol for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Carol Tempel, it's so good to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, Quintin.
I appreciate this greatly.
Yeah.
So here we sit. You're a candidate for South Carolina House District 115, which covers James Island, Folly Beach, Kew, and Seabrook.
Correct.
And according to your Facebook profile, you said it's this quote, ready to serve. Tell me, how are you going to serve this district?
Well, I'm ready to serve this district with the knowledge and skills that I have in my own background. I am first and foremost a family person, so I bring those family experiences to this position, but I'm also an educator, and I've been from a teacher to a district administrator to a principal, so I bring those experiences, and I also own my own small business for 10 years. So, so I intend to serve and focus on the areas that I feel like I have expertise and the areas that are of interest to people in my district.
Let me take you to Columbia. Just
Okay.
recently, an hour ago, this was the headline from FitzNews.com. South Carolina State House, budget deal reach. When you hear that, what plays in your mind?
Well, I was trying to figure out what really is in the budget, and of course the one thing I was looking for was what was our legislature doing for education, because education in our state constitution is to be our #1 focus. So I looked to see, first of all, what were they going to do in education, because we haven't been fully funding education since the 1977 Act for Education. And then when I saw the headlines that teachers were only getting a 1% raise, I just was really upset about that. That's insulting to our teachers. It amounts to nothing. I mean, if you're a beginning teacher making $32,000, that's $320 minus taxes. Teachers already spend more than that of their own money on supplies for their classrooms. So those were some of the things that I looked at in the budget.
And if you were to be State Representative Carol Tempel right now, what would you put in the budget as well, in addition to the education?
Well, I would look at you know, the issues around healthcare. We have so many people in our state that do not have adequate health care, and that's because we haven't accepted Medicaid expansion. And once we do accept it, we will be able to help support more individuals going into the healthcare profession and helping people get the healthcare services they need. I mean, we rank the 7th worst in the nation, so we have a lot to do there. And also, I think we need to look at our environment. This is a coastal environment. We're struggling with rising sea levels and flooding, so I didn't see anything in the budget to help with that. Our roads and bridges are a mess, and I didn't see anything to support that as well. And we need to have incentives for people to get away from all the fossil fuels. We need to be focusing more on renewable energy, solar energy. So those would be some of the things that I would be looking at to have our budget support.
And as you know, right here in this particular district, there's a big talk about offshore drilling.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you with this discussion?
I am totally against offshore drilling. Definitely against it.
Okay.
I stood with people a month or so ago with Hands Across America, and one of the things we protested was offshore drilling. As a scientist myself, I've studied this issue a lot, and I know that, you know, the debate is there about, you know, is there climate change or isn't there climate change, and I come on the side of, you know what, let's not debate it, let's do what's right for our environment. And in the geologic studies that I've have heard about, many presentations over the years, there's just not enough oil for us to ruin our coastline. So we need to look at other sources of energy, renewable and solar and wind.
And you also talked earlier about flooding and drainage.
Mm-hmm.
How much money should we have to take care of this?
Well, I don't know the amount of money that we need to have. I'm sure there are studies coming from the city in terms of what their needs are. So, I think that we need to look at the studies and then try to project out what can we do in the amount of time that we have with the resources that we can get. So I can't give you a figure on that, but that's how I would approach thinking about it.
And you talk about time and resources. Obviously, there's another big issue going on here in this county, and that is the potential expansion of 526.
Mm-hmm.
What should they do now about that?
Well, the board nixed that particular proposal. So, there is money set aside to make road improvements. So I think they need to figure out what will be a better plan. I mean, again, over the years, there have been so many discussions about this issue, concerns. There are plans already in place. One of the plans often is referred to as the pitchfork.
Right.
And there are calming things that you can do with the roads to facilitate easier on and off from the roads. And we passed a referendum to set aside money for public transportation, and we haven't begun to see the impact of that. So there's lots of things that we can do, and we need to get started. I think, now it's clear that the infrastructure bank is not going to give Charleston County the money. Charleston City and County do not have the money to actually implement the 526 plan as it is. So they need to move forward and make there are lots of solutions that are easier fixes and less expensive.
What are the solutions for public transportation?
Well, one of the things that is proposed, and George and I passed petitions along rivers to get a bus going down from Somerville to Charleston. So that would help alleviate a lot of the transportation that's going on I-26. On my island, James Island, I can get downtown from where I get on the bus in about 20 minutes, but to get home it's going to take me 90 minutes. And then the bus doesn't drop me off at the place where I would have gotten on the bus. So we have some things to do with planning and frequency of those buses, because people don't ride buses that are not regular. So anyway, on Sunday, there's an effort to bring focus to the fact that we need to have better bus service on James Island and Folly Beach.
You talk about frequency. Let me go back to Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
This is a headline from Calendar2.com. South Carolina lawmakers approve SE&G rate cuts. When you think of those cuts, what sticks in your mind?
What sticks in my mind is that we've gotten stiffed for a lot of money, and while we're going to get 15%, not 18%, that's just starting now. So we've already, as ratepayers, have invested a lot of money in a project that isn't successful. So, thank you for, I think it's going to be $22 more that we're going to get, but we've been putting $22 in for a long time. So, we as, ratepayers have gotten stiffed again, and I think that the legislature was involved in making this deal, and they should have been watching it all the time.
Let me reset and talk about you.
Okay.
Obviously, you were a principal, an educator, scientist. Who else is Carol Temple?
Well, those are at my very being. I was 12 years old when I decided that I wanted to be a teacher. I just didn't know what I wanted to teach until I was in high school. And then in high school I made the decision to become a biology teacher. So I have pursued this path of, education, and and I chose a husband who is also interested in education. So we as a family have always supported public education. So as a person, I am a mom, I'm a grandma, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a granddaughter of immigrants. So I have a lot of experiences and sensitivities that I bring to who I am. So yeah, I am who I am. You see me, I'm pretty visible. You're monitoring my Facebook page, so you know that I don't hold back.
Right.
I tell it as it is, as I see it. If new evidence becomes available, I will change my mind. But I guess that's who I am. And then I have a real entrepreneurial spirit. When we came to Charleston, and I couldn't get the job that, one, I wanted, and two, that I was qualified for, I went about starting my own business. So I am someone who, when faced with a problem, I figure out a solution and I go for it. I'm a very action-oriented person. And in the school district, I had a project that was called Can Do, and I think of it as my spirit. I am, I think that there's nothing that we can't do that isn't important.
Why should I vote for you?
You should vote for me because, we need a change in Columbia. We have too many of the same kinds of people. We need different experiences. We need to come to more of a balance. We're too partisan, and I'm running as a Democrat, so there are not many of us there in the legislature. And I also am, I'm a woman. We need to change and make sure that our voices are present. And I would think that my life experiences and my skills and the things that I've accomplished are good reasons that you would and should be voting for me. Can you vote for me? Are you on James Island calling me receiver?
Carol Tempel, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.